I think the element that everybody knows is, of course, about the population in Indonesia, 280 million. And then everybody knows already that it's a mobile first market, right?
Right.
So the mobile internet penetration is already high, 90% and above, right? But a lot of the time, people have been ignoring about the real connectivity, which is the fixed broadband. So that's the exciting news, that if you look at it, the penetration now is only about 26 million households.
Right.
Yeah, and then the good news, then now there are new technology, which is on top of the FTTH, the fixed broadband, we have the fixed wireless access. So there are two national players into the market. So we believe that these new players will bring the acceleration on the adoption. So if you look at it, combined projection, they can grow from 26 to 50 million within the next 4 years.
Where are you now on microdrama strategically at Vidio? Is this a dedicated focus for you? Is it going to be a format inside Vidio, a separate app even? To tell us a little bit more how you're on your thinking on this.
So I think clearly microdrama is an area that we have to take it seriously, right? So the question is like which route? So we have done some testing. We licensed some titles from the Chinese platforms, and we produce our own original, maybe like close to 10. But to be open, the result has been like lukewarm, so-so. The local, of course, is doing much better than the license, but it is at much costly, right? So one thing that we learn and we admit is that, look, creating microdrama is completely different expertise. And that's an expertise that we have to pick and learn. So the question is that whether we want to do that journey ourselves or whether we want to take this journey together with a reliable partner.
That's my main concern, Pak Sutanto, when I look at microdramas, the conversion to pay is so low. Is that a challenge, or you see that improving?
I think that is one unique factor that many platforms do not have our luxury, right? Because if we talk about conversion, or you talk about retention, right? This is where the biggest challenge in market like Indonesia, because the subscription habit is not there. Right? In a previous APOS, I have already reminded the audience that 96% of the mobile phone user are actually prepaid. So that is the biggest challenge on any OTT platform. How can we then establish the subscription habits among Indonesians? So we have television. Television is producing daily content. So if people like to watch our sinetron, then every day they will watch that sinetron. Now, on the sports, which is the reason why we go big on sports, where if you like to watch Premier League, let's say, then you will stick to every match week that Premier League is on, or the local league that we have Liga 1. So then we have multiple content, sports, television, and then our original. Now, then I believe that this original short drama will be that additional menu. So then people are sticking not just because of the short drama, but because of all this combination. So because of that, we are more bullish than if we are just a standalone short drama platform.
Got it.
Be able to capture that conversion as well as to stick the customer to our subscription.
Tell me about sports a little bit before we go into original content. How do you see the sports business at Vidio?
Super important. So a good example now, everybody is focusing on World Cup. So 4 years ago, we got the World Cup, and then we are able to capture the subscription, spike super high. Right. But of course, World Cup, after that, a lot of them disappear, right? So this time, honestly, we were concerned as to, hey, whether a lot of our subscription churn and then end up with watching World Cup, right? But to our pleasant surprise, actually, our subscription this month is actually resilient. Right. It's actually the same like our subscription in May. And part of the reason is because, again, as I mentioned earlier, we have the luxury of introducing multiple content at frequency. One of the things that we have done much better job is on how to make our ARPU become healthier. So actually, this year compared to last year, we already increased our ARPU more than 20% actually. And part of that is not just about price increase, but we also deliver a way to encourage people to switch to a healthier SKU. So that way, as long as we can bring the monetization to the right way, then I think sport will be the right element to be focusing on.
How big do you see the connected TV opportunity in terms of advertising for Vidio and also the overall business in Indonesia? Because you manage TV as well.
Yes, I think it should be big, right? Because I mentioned earlier, the penetration is picking up very rapidly, and Indonesians love to watch television. And we have a data that shows that within Vidio, if people comes to web, or whether people comes to mobile, or whether people comes to watch it through connected TV, the connected TV delivers like super quality that they will stay with us on average visit day like 3.7 times longer compared if people come from the mobile apps. So that's really, really sticky, right? So this is where, when we get people attention, that's a good time for us then to give them, whether that's advertising or commerce, right? And the challenge though, I think, is where the other big platforms like Google, Meta, and so on, or TikTok, I don't think they actually put premium in this sticky watching behavior on connected TV. So we are hoping what happened in Indonesia follows what happened in other markets, where actually if you pay advertising on connected TV, then you have to pay premium because of this quality. So when that time happens, then I believe that advertising proposition on connected TV is going to deliver much bigger potential in Indonesia.
AI, where does it actually change video's economics? We heard a lot of AI in the last 2 days. You know, where does it move the needle for your business?
Again, as with any other companies, including US, I believe that we are trying to adapt to AI as much as possible. The question is, of course, what AI adoption that becomes a game changer? Right. Clearly, there are a lot of AI tools that we can deploy to make our life easier, more efficient, and so on, right? But what is the big game changer? And this, to me, is the exciting part. Sometimes you never know. You have to do trial and error, but clearly you need to build capability inside your organization. So that's where we go big on that. On the content generation that you did mention, we actually created a fully dedicated division, and their mission is basically to be good as an AI production company. So we actually, remake our popular IP in the past. So we started with animation. Why animation? Because we believe that animation is easier to master. Once we are good in animation, then we move on to the live action. So with animation, we had an IP called Keluarga Somat. So we produced like 10, 15 years ago. So then we tried to revive this IP, but now using completely AI technology. So we work closely with Google, that they provide us with a lot of support on the technology. And one thing that is amazing is that we produced 26 episodes. And we can clearly see when we started the first few episodes until when we produced the last few episodes. And then we can clearly see like a big improvement already on the quality. But with this technology, one thing that is unique from what you saw, right? We can bring the locality element into the animation, which we have not been able to do that quite a lot. So we believe that this locality, then we can bring animation to the next level. So clearly, AI will be the main engine to do that.
How does TV still remain an important engine in Indonesia and also for Emtek Media? Because this seems quite structural now as a decline.
Unfortunately, we will continue to see this trend to continue to happen, right? But the question though, what does it mean? Whether it will be disappearing one day, right? And the answer to that is, I don't think so. Why? Because I think Indonesia is a bit unique because when you look at the history, free-to-air in Indonesia is way stronger compared to many other markets. But having said that though, again, it doesn't mean that the challenge is not there because we already experienced that decline. But number two, one thing that is very comforting, the challenge is with the money, right? The advertising money start to disappear. But we have not seen a lot of disappearance on the eyeballs. That the number of people that watch television, the amount of time that they spend on television remains very healthy. So that is actually very comforting. So the question here is, of course, if television is no longer generating as much money as used to, but still generating that eyeballs and awareness. So we need to come up with like a new transform strategy on how we can take advantage of that eyeballs and to do the monetization differently. So that's, I think, is the $1 billion question. On the commerce, I like one of your slides yesterday on your opening speech that money will follow platforms that can deliver a conversion to transaction. So that's very, very true, right? So that's actually the biggest weakness on television, even though the awareness is good, but because we cannot convert them to transaction, then brand perceive that we are not relevant, right? So that's a challenge, whether it's television, whether it's video. So how can we bring this? Now, video, of course, offer a better digital connectivity, right? So we have actually launched what we call video shopping experience. So while you watch your popular show, and then it will pop up a list of products that you can buy, actually. The beauty here is that even if you do the transaction, you will not leave that watching experience. Right. Yeah, so that's the key here. So this is like an early indication that, hey, the formula is working, but of course, We need to develop better technology to come up with a real personal recommendation. And I believe once we fix that, then the number will become even better.